The first crime was committed by a god. Long before humans walked the earth, when the world was young, and the stars still shone brighter than the sun, there lived the gods. They were mighty beings, full of power and wisdom, and they ruled over creation with fairness and kindness. Among them was the greatest of all, the god of light and order, whose name was Solin. He was the first to bring warmth to the world, and his golden light filled the heavens. But not all was peaceful among the gods, for where there is light, there must also be shadow. In the darkest corners of the universe, where Solin's light did not reach, lived another god. His name was Nyx, the lord of night and secrets. Nyx was silent and cold, wrapped in a cloak of endless darkness. He watched the other gods from afar, never speaking, never joining them. The gods did not fear him, but they did not understand him either. They called him lonely, strange, and distant. But Nyx was not lonely, he was patient. For eons, the gods lived in harmony, shaping the world with their power. Solin gave light, the goddess of the seas filled the oceans, the god of the winds whispered through the trees. But Nyx did nothing. He waited. As he waited, something bitter grew in his heart. He watched the other gods praised for their gifts, while he was ignored, forgotten in the shadows. Why should they be loved, he thought, while I remain unseen? Then one day, Nyx made a decision. If the world would not remember him, he would make sure they never forgot. Under the cover of his own darkness, he crept into the sacred garden of the gods, a place where the rarest and most powerful treasures were kept. There, hidden among the roots of the world tree, was the most precious thing of all, the first flame. The first flame was the source of all light, the spark that had given Solin his power. Without it, the world would fall into eternal night. The gods guarded it fiercely, but Nyx was cunning. He wrapped the flame in his cloak of shadows and stole it away, carrying it deep into his realm where no light could follow. When Solin awoke and saw that the flame was gone, he cried out in despair. The other gods searched everywhere, but the flame was nowhere to be found. Without it, the world grew cold. The skies turned gray, the plants withered, and the creatures of the earth shivered in the growing dark. The gods begged Nyx to return the flame, but he refused. "You never cared for me," he said. "Now you will know what it is to live in my world." Solin, heartbroken, knew he had to act. He could not let the world suffer because of Nyx's anger. So he did something no god had ever done before. He committed a crime of his own. He entered Nyx's realm not to reason or beg, but to take back what was stolen. The two gods fought, their power shaking the heavens. Light clashed with darkness, order with chaos. In the end, Solin tore the first flame from Nyx's grasp, but the battle had changed them both. Nyx, wounded and furious, swore he would never forget this betrayal. Solin, though he had saved the world, carried the weight of his actions. He had broken the sacred law of the gods. He had taken by force what was not given. When the flame was returned, light filled the world once more. But the gods now knew that even they were not perfect. The first crime had been committed, not by mortals, but by one of their own. And from that day forward, darkness and light existed in balance, neither ever fully winning, neither ever fully losing. And so, the world learned its first lesson, that even the greatest beings can fall, that even gods can choose wrong. And though the stars still shine, they remember the night when the first crime was committed, and the shadow it cast over all creation. The end.